I looked at the words and they all started just moving around, and I stuttered. And my teacher laughed at me, and everybody laughed, and I saw the parents, and I felt ashamed, and I felt like I got scarred forever that day, and it limited me a lot. One incident changed my whole life, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to get over those obstacles, if that has ever happened to you, how to move on, and how to overcome those feelings. Now, I am able to speak in crowds. I am able to speak to a camera and put myself for everybody to see without caring. So who am I? My name is Edwin Ureta. I am from Raleigh, North Carolina. I graduated high school. I went to the military. I came back from the military. I graduated college. Now I'm starting my own business because I believe that there's a new digital age coming upon us. So it was only my decision to change my behavior so I could change my outcomes. And I know reading is such a pain, so I'm just gonna give you the summary of every book, and hopefully you could take action with me. Everything about you is pretty holy. And always look at things that have triggered your mind, because I thought I was a bad speaker for the longest. Maybe I still am, but I don't believe that no more. I believe that I'm a good speaker. I'm literally talking to a camera for thousands of people on YouTube to watch. So look at your events, and you're gonna find power in these events also. So the first thing we're gonna do is write down what has triggered you to feel unqualified. So I'm just gonna put, I felt unqualified because people laughed at me when I read. People laughed at me when I read. Now challenge that belief. Do something that's gonna prove you wrong. So for example, just go up to a stranger and start a random conversation. Like, do whatever. If it's like, I am bad at running, go for a run, do 2 miles. Or if I'm bad at football, go play some football, or whatever you do. Anybody can change. You don't need to be rich, you don't need to be poor, you don't need to be black, you don't need to be white, you don't need to be Mexican, you don't need to be whatever. Anybody can change. If you want to change, it all starts with discipline. It all starts with doing the hard things, especially when you don't feel like it. It all starts with these very trenches like situations where you have to dig deep in the trenches. Why don't I want to do this? Why do I choose to be mediocre instead of going out and doing the hard thing? Why do a lot of us choose to be mediocre? I don't understand. So it's one thing that David Goggins has proved to me, that even though you think you're done, you're never done. There's always room for improvement, and it's good to have that growth mindset, because you're always going to be learning instead of having a fixed mindset. A fixed mindset is people that believe that there's DNA involved and that there's a certain capacity that you meet. And I say, no, don't think like that. Think like David Goggins, which is there's always room. He went from being like 260 and fat and being nobody to being one of the most elite warriors we have in this world. Lots of inspiration. He didn't have the the proper family. So I used to use that. I used to use that as an excuse was, oh, I'm not great because if only my dad was in my life. If only my dad. And I always blamed it on my dad until I had to man up and be the man. Now I understand that it's up to me and my own mind and my own decisions. So Can't Hurt Me will definitely change your life. It will motivate you, man. Do the hard things. Like sometimes I don't feel like going to the gym, but I just see David Goggins doing the hard thing and I'm like, yo, I gotta go hit the gym now. And finally, the last book that I have is Becoming Supernatural. It's the science behind why manifesting works. It basically teaches you about the chakras. It teaches you how electromagnetic fields work. It talks about the quantum physics. It basically says that energy is all around us. And the law of energy says that you cannot create energy nor destroy. You can only transform energy. With that being said, this book teaches you how we are a physical energy. We're walking energy, and that we can grab energy from anywhere and transform it and put it out into the world how we desire. So it talks about the quantum field being like this space where energy exists and everything you want already exists in the quantum field. So I need to go back actually and reread this because I've been focusing more on the technical side of my brain, but this is more, I need to get more spiritual, and it's one of those books that just opens your eyes to many, many, many possibilities. Yeah, so it's Becoming Supernatural. I definitely am going to go back and read that one more time. So the reason why I took the time out of my day to make this video for you is because I honestly imagine a world where everybody's learning, everybody wants the best for everybody else, where people do the hard thing. If they don't want to do the hard thing, like imagine just where people do the right thing. It all starts with awareness and self-awareness and being conscious and like mental health is an actual thing. I used to not believe in mental health, but with knowledge comes right decisions. With ignorance comes bad decisions. So mental health is a big part, and I just imagine a world where I can go outside and say, what's up, neighbor? How are you? Have a good conversation. Do you guys want to come over for barbecue? Do you guys want to come over for a barbacoa? Do you guys want to come over for a carne asada? Like, that's what I imagine, where everybody's mentally healthy. And I know it's hard right now because the world just seems like there's chaos everywhere. Like Mexico got a new president, Russia's doing something in Cuba, the Ukraine, the Chinese. Like it just seems like we're always trying to beat each other up for some reason. And I just imagine a world where whatever, you know, like as long as you're trying to grow, like we can live together and want the best for humanity. Like, I don't know if that's too big to understand, but I always imagine myself waking up in a white picket fence with my wife, my beautiful wife, my dog, my 2 kids, my kids grabbing their lunch bag and heading out to school as the bus picks them up, and where I could trust the education system, where I could trust the bus driver to do the right thing, where I could trust other kids. Like, I remember in 2005, that was the life That was the life. And now we live in a world where you can't even trust your neighbor, which is pretty shameful. So that's what I imagine. I imagine where everybody wants the best for each other and have a loving family and a loving community and a loving world. That's what I imagine. So guys, I hope these books helped you out. I hope you read them. I hope you dive more into them. If you want me to, you know what, I'll just teach you some more shit that I learned, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.